The first snow had begun to fall in the neighborhood of Southwood, where Andre lived with his mother and 3 younger siblings, Tasha, Malik, and little Jordan. It was early December, and the family's tiny apartment smelled of fried chicken and collard greens, the warmth of the kitchen making the drafty windows fog up. Andre sat on the edge of the couch, still in his work uniform from the grocery store, listening as his mother told him about their Christmas plans. "We're going to Atlanta this year," she said, her smile wide, her voice full of excitement. "We'll spend Christmas with Aunt Diane. Big house, plenty of food, music, family. It's been too long since we had a real Christmas trip." Andre's heart leapt. For years, he had been the one holding everything together, working late shifts, paying bills, and often sacrificing his own needs so his siblings could have new shoes or supplies for school. A trip sounded like the perfect reward, a long-awaited chance to rest and laugh again. "You serious, Mum?" he asked, leaning forward. "As serious as the Lord is good," she replied. Tasha clapped her hands and Malik grinned. Even little Jordan shouted, "Christmas in Atlanta!" Andre felt something he hadn't in years: hope. Over the next weeks, Andre threw himself into preparing. He saved every extra dollar from his job, determined to help cover travel costs. He bought new jackets for his siblings so they wouldn't look out of place around their cousins. He even splurged on a red leather wallet for his mother, wrapping it carefully in silver paper. But he noticed small things. Whenever he asked about the bus tickets, his mother's answers grew vague. "They're handled," she'd say, waving her hand. "What about the hotel stop on the way?" "Don't worry about it, baby." Something gnawed at him, but he pushed it down. He wanted to believe. Christmas Eve came with the smell of cinnamon rolls baking in the oven. Andre rushed home from work, his paycheck folded neatly in his back pocket. He was ready for the long drive in the morning. But when he entered the apartment, he felt it. A stillness. His mother and siblings sat quietly, not packing, not buzzing with excitement. He frowned. "Why y'all not getting ready?" His mother sighed, eyes avoiding his. Tasha looked down at her phone. Malik bit his lip. Andre's chest tightened. "What's going on?" His mother finally spoke. "Baby, we're not going to Atlanta." The words hit like a hammer. Andre blinked, confused. "What do you mean we're not going?" "Mom, you've been telling me for weeks." "I know," she cut in quickly, her voice trembling. "But plans changed. We couldn't afford it. And, well, I didn't know how to tell you." Andre's stomach dropped. He looked at his siblings. Their faces told him they had known for days. "You all lied to me." His voice cracked, sharp and raw. Jordan whimpered, and Malik looked away. His mother's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't want to see you disappointed. You've been working so hard. I thought, maybe if we kept it up, you'd at least feel good for a little while." The betrayal cut deep. He had carried this family on his back, and in return, they had given him false hope. Andre stormed to his room, slamming the door so hard the walls shook. He sat on his bed, fists clenched, staring at the half-packed bag by his feet. He thought of all the extra shifts, the sleep he lost, the quiet prayers he had whispered on the bus ride home. He thought of how he had dreamed of sitting by the fireplace in Atlanta, surrounded by cousins, free from stress for once. Now it was gone. And worse, it wasn't the world that had taken it away. It was his own family. The night was heavy. Andre lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling, his jaw tight. In the next room, he heard laughter, his siblings watching Christmas movies, their giggles rising and falling as if nothing had happened. He couldn't bring himself to join them. Every sound cut him, reminding him of how they'd all played along in the lie. His mother knocked softly on his door once, but he didn't answer. For the first time, the warmth of Christmas felt like a cruel joke. The next morning, the smell of pancakes drifted into Andre's room. He dragged himself to the kitchen, his eyes tired. His mother slid a plate in front of him. "Eat, baby." He stared at the food but didn't touch it. "Why'd you lie to me, Mum?" Tasha and Malik looked away. Little Jordan poked at his eggs. His mother's face softened. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I just didn't know how to tell you the truth. We couldn't afford no trip. Not with bills stacking. I thought maybe if I kept saying it, somehow it'd come true." Andre's voice was sharp. "You had me working extra shifts, saving every dime, thinking we was really going. You let me believe in something that was never real." Tears filled her eyes, but Andre stood and walked out, the fork clattering against his untouched plate. Andre wandered the streets of Southwood, his hands stuffed deep into his jacket pockets. Christmas lights twinkled in windows, children played in the snow, families carried bags of gifts. He felt like a ghost walking through it all. Every house seemed to mock him, families united, celebrating, while his own had chosen lies over honesty. He stopped at a corner store, bought a soda with the last of his change, and sat on the curb. He thought about leaving, just packing up and never coming back. But the thought of his siblings, no matter how much they hurt him, kept him rooted. When he finally returned, Tasha was waiting in the hallway. "Andre, wait," she whispered, stepping into his path. He glared at her. "You knew. You all knew." She bit her lip. "Mum told us not to say nothing. I wanted to, but I didn't want to make her mad." "Y'all chose her over me," he said coldly. Tasha's voice broke. "We didn't mean to hurt you. We just wanted you happy, even if it was fake." Andre shook his head. "Fake happiness ain't happiness at all." He pushed past her, leaving her in tears. Later that night, Malik knocked on his door. Unlike Tasha, he didn't look guilty. He looked frustrated. "You act like you the only one struggling, Andre," Malik snapped. "We all hurting. Mum doing her best, and you walking around like you the victim." Andre shot up from his bed. "Victim? I've been working my back off to keep this family afloat. While you, what? Play ball and laugh with your friends." Malik's jaw tightened. "You ain't the only one carrying weight. But you always make it about you." Andre's hands trembled. He wanted to yell, to curse, but instead he turned away, his voice low. "Get out, Malik." For once, Malik obeyed, leaving the room in silence. The youngest, Jordan, slipped into Andre's room later, clutching his teddy bear. His big brown eyes shimmered with confusion. "Andre, you mad at us?" he whispered. Andre's chest softened. He couldn't hold his anger against the boy. He lifted Jordan onto his lap. "I'm not mad at you, lil' man. Just hurt. You understand hurt." Jordan nodded slowly. "Like when I fall and scrape my knee." "Yeah," Andre sighed. "But this hurt don't heal with a Band-Aid." Jordan hugged him tight. "I still want Christmas with you." For the first time that day, Andre let himself smile, even if just a little. Christmas morning arrived, but the apartment felt hollow. The tree in the corner glowed, presents wrapped beneath it, but the spirit was gone. Andre sat quietly as his siblings tore open gifts. He gave his mother the wallet he'd bought her, though his hands shook as he passed it over. She opened it, her face softening. "Oh, Andre, it's beautiful." But he couldn't look at her. He felt the distance between them like a wall too high to climb. The laughter of his siblings rang in his ears, but to him it all sounded distant, muffled, unreal. That afternoon, the phone rang. His mother answered, her voice cheerful. "Yes, Diane. Merry Christmas." Andre perked up at the name. Aunt Diane, the woman who had been the promise of their trip. But as his mother talked, Andre realized the truth. Aunt Diane had no idea they were ever supposed to come. His mother had never even made plans. When she hung up, Andre confronted her. So it was never about money. We was never going to Atlanta, was we? Her silence was the answer. The betrayal cut deeper than before. That night, Andre couldn't hold it anymore. He left the apartment, walking into the cold until his breath turned white in the air. He sat on a park bench, the Christmas lights above him glowing faintly. And he wept. Not just for the trip, but for the years of carrying more than his share. For the lies. For the weight of being the backbone while everyone else leaned on him. His sobs echoed in the still night, a cry no one heard. When the tears finally stopped, Andre felt something shift inside him. He realized he couldn't keep living like this, bearing burdens in silence, waiting for promises that would never come. His family loved him, but their love came with deception, with expectations that drowned him. He had to make a choice, for himself. As he walked home, the cold air biting his cheeks, he whispered to himself, "Next Christmas will be different. Even if I gotta spend it alone." The decision wasn't final, but it was the first step toward reclaiming his life. The days following Christmas felt heavy and strange. Andre moved around the apartment like a shadow. He went to work, came home, ate silently, and kept to himself. The tension in the house was thick. His siblings whispered around him. His mother tried to act normal, asking about his shifts, but Andre's answers were short. He wasn't angry anymore, not like before. He was hollow, drained of the trust and warmth he used to carry for them. One snowy evening, the doorbell rang. It was Mr. Lewis, the old neighbor from down the hall. A retired teacher, he'd always had kind words for Andre. "Boy, you look worn down," Mr. Lewis said, stepping inside. "What's going on?" Andre shrugged. "Just family stuff." The older man studied him, then nodded. "Sometimes the ones closest to us cut the deepest. But you can't let their mistakes chain you down." Andre looked at him, surprised by how the words landed. Mr. Lewis chuckled softly. "You got a good head on your shoulders. Don't let hurt turn it bitter." The next morning, Andre left a note on the kitchen table. "I'm tired. I need space. Don't look for me." He packed a small bag and walked out. He didn't have much of a plan, but he knew he couldn't keep suffocating inside those walls. His mother found the letter hours later. She broke down, clutching it to her chest, while Tasha cried, "This is our fault." Malik tried to act strong, but guilt gnawed at him too. Andre spent nights sleeping on friends' couches. First with Jamal, a co-worker from the grocery store, then with an old basketball buddy. He was grateful for the space, but he felt like a wanderer. He worked his shifts, kept his head down, and saved every dollar he could. He told himself this was temporary, that he was building toward freedom. But loneliness crept in at night. He missed Jordan's laugh, the warmth of family dinners, even the sound of his mother humming in the kitchen. One weekend, his mother showed up at the grocery store. She waited until his shift ended, standing by the exit in her long winter coat. "Andre," she said softly when he walked out. He stiffened. "What are you doing here?" I need to say I'm sorry. I shouldn't have lied. I thought I was protecting you, but I hurt you instead. I see that now." Andre swallowed hard, emotions swirling. Part of him wanted to hug her. Another part wanted to keep walking. He finally said, "I hear you, but I can't just forget, Mum. Not this time." Her eyes watered, but she nodded, letting him go. Weeks later, Tasha found him. She met him outside the store, holding a small wrapped box. "I saved up," she said, pressing it into his hands. "Open it." Inside was a leather notebook. On the first page, she had written, "For your dreams. Don't just carry us. Carry yourself, too." Andre stared at the words, his throat tight. "I'm sorry, Dre," she whispered. "I should have told you the truth. I'll do better." For the first time in weeks, Andre pulled her into a hug. Malik came next. One cold night, he showed up at Jamal's place where Andre was staying. "Yo, Dre, can we talk?" Andre hesitated, then nodded. Malik rubbed his hands together nervously. "I was wrong, man. I acted like you were selfish when really you the one keeping us afloat. I hated seeing you so mad, and I didn't know how to handle it. I'm sorry." Andre studied him. Malik's pride rarely let him admit mistakes. This was real. "Thanks," Andre said quietly. It didn't erase the pain, but it cracked open the door between them again. A few days later, Andre received a folded piece of paper at work. The handwriting was clumsy, full of misspellings. "Dear Andre, I miss you. Christmas was not fun without you. Come home. I love you, big brother." It was from Jordan. Andre held the paper for a long time, tears stinging his eyes. The innocence of it broke through the bitterness. That weekend, Andre finally visited home. The apartment felt the same. The tree still stood in the corner, decorations slightly dusty. His mother's eyes lit up when she saw him. "Andre!" He held up a hand. "I'm not moving back. Not yet. I just wanted to see y'all." They gathered in the living room, awkward but relieved. Andre told them straight, things gotta change. No more lies. No more protecting me with fake promises. If we broke, we broke, but we'll face it together. I can't be the only one carrying it all. His mother nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. "You're right, baby. We'll do better." That night, Andre sat in his old room, flipping through the notebook Tasha had given him. For the first time, he began to write, dreams he had buried under responsibility. He wrote about going back to school, about starting a small business, about traveling on his own terms. He realized Christmas hadn't been the end of him. It had been the breaking point that forced him to see what he needed: honesty, balance, and a future that was his own. The pain was still there, but so was a new vision. And as he closed the notebook, Andre whispered to himself, "Next Christmas will be mine." January turned into February, and Andre kept grinding. The grocery store was his steady paycheck, but he wanted more. Every night, he wrote in the notebook Tasha gave him, business plans, goals, ideas. One evening, Jamal leaned over his shoulder. "Man, you serious about this? You really want to start your own delivery hustle?" Andre nodded. "Why not? Folks always need groceries, packages, stuff picked up. I already know the grind. Why not build for myself?" Jamal grinned. "I'm in. Let's do it." For the first time in months, Andre felt fire in his chest again. Meanwhile, back home, Mum was changing too. She picked up extra hours at the diner, started budgeting more carefully, and even sat Malik and Tasha down to talk about honesty. "We can't hide the truth from each other no more," she told them. "What happened with Andre broke something. If we want him back fully, we gotta fix it with truth." It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. By spring, Andre felt ready to visit home more often. The apartment still felt heavy with memories of deception, but things were shifting. One evening, Mum cooked his favorite, fried catfish and cornbread. As they ate, she looked him in the eye. "Son, I want you to know, I'm proud of you. Even when I don't say it right, I see how much you've sacrificed. And I'm sorry I didn't honor that before." Andre swallowed hard, his throat tight. "Thank you, Mum. That's all I needed." The table was quiet, but for once, it was a peaceful quiet. Summer came, and Andre's small side hustle began to grow. With Jamal, he bought a used van, painted it, and slapped on a logo, "Southwood Runs, We Deliver." They made flyers, passed them around, and soon had steady customers. Andre felt alive. For the first time, he wasn't just surviving, he was building. His siblings bragged about him to their friends. Even Malik, who once resented him, now helped out on weekends. In July, Jordan turned 9. Andre showed up with the biggest gift, a brand new basketball set. Jordan's eyes widened. "You remembered." Andre laughed. "Of course, lil man. I'm always gonna show up for you." Mum wiped her eyes as she watched her oldest and youngest together. The bond had survived, stronger than before. One night in August, Tasha sat with Andre on the porch. The cicadas hummed, and the air was warm. "I need to tell you something," she said softly. "That Christmas. I knew Mum was lying, and I almost told you. But I was scared. I didn't want to break the family apart." Andre nodded slowly. "I know. But lies break families more than the truth ever could." She leaned against his shoulder. "I learned that. I won't make the same mistake again." Andre kissed her forehead. "That's all I ask." By fall, Malik had matured too. He started working part-time at the rec center, coaching kids in basketball. One night, he told Andre, "Man, you inspired me. I see how you turn pain into hustle. I want to do that too. For the kids, for us." Andre smiled proudly. "That's what's up, Malik. That's growth." For the first time, Andre saw his brother not as a burden, but as a man stepping into his own. When Thanksgiving came, the whole family gathered again. The table was full: turkey, macaroni, sweet potato pie. As they ate, Mum raised her glass of sweet tea. "This year, I'm thankful for truth, for second chances, and for my son, who reminded us all how strong honesty can make a family." Everyone clinked glasses. Andre felt a lump in his throat, but this time it wasn't pain, it was pride. The next Christmas approached. Snow fell again, lights glowed in Southwood, and carols filled the streets. But this time, things were different. Mum didn't promise a trip they couldn't afford. Instead, she said simply, "We'll make the best Christmas right here, together." And they did. They cooked, laughed, played games, and exchanged small but thoughtful gifts. Andre surprised them all. He had saved enough to take the family on a real trip for New Year's. "We're going to Atlanta," he announced with a grin. "For real this time." The room erupted in joy. As Andre sat by the tree that Christmas night, Jordan curled up beside him, Tasha snapping pictures, Malik teasing but smiling, Mum humming softly. He thought about the year before. The lies, the betrayal, the hurt. It had nearly broken him. But it had also forced him to grow, to find himself, to demand better. He realized now, Christmas wasn't about the trip, or the gifts, or even the food. It was about truth. About love that could survive mistakes. About family that could heal. Andre whispered to himself, "This Christmas is mine." And for the first time in a long time, he felt peace.